this spread, I saw an interesting scene. It's like at the Colosseum, you know, the gladiator Colosseum type of imagery. I see this man, he's on a chariot, and I think there were, let me see, three horses pulling the chariot. He's got his, you know, Roman gladiator outfit on. He's got like a sword, and he has like some type of war paint on his chest. And you know, the scene is just like very gruesome, very bloodthirsty, very it's like very tense. So he's like on his chariot circling around, and he's like, who's next? Who's going to, you know, challenge me? And then so it's just like highly intensified, a lot of testosterone, a lot of tension. The door opens, and this woman, she's wearing a white dress. She looks very innocent, and she steps out, and he charges at her in his chariot, and she doesn't even bat an eye. She's not scared. She just stands there, like she's not afraid. Like she knows he's not going to, you know, run her over. And then when he gets really close to her, he realizes that she's not really budging. And so he has to make a really sharp turn with his chariot. And so the whole chariot kind of topples over. He rolls onto the ground. And then he comes towards her, like very upset. But as he got closer and closer and closer to her, he stopped getting angry and upset. And so that's how it ended. So I don't know, for some of you, I feel like you could be the man on that chariot. For others of you, you're like the woman. And, you know, regardless of whatever gender you are, you could be the embodiment of that really masculine, testy type of energy, or you can be the embodiment of that really sweet, pure, innocent, and, you know, calming energy in that woman. Okay, so I feel like I can't figure out which one you are, but I feel like there's an interesting, it's like a juxtaposition, two energies, two opposing forces that are very different from one another, but somehow there is a meeting halfway happening this month. And then I also feel like there is a spirit of competition as well. Okay, so let me just talk about the cards a little bit before I get too sidetracked. So the first thing here, I feel like there is a situation here where it's like a winner takes all. It started out as a friendly competition, and it could be, you know, like a love situation, whereas there's a friendly, complimentary, friendly banter, friendly flirtation back and forth. And for some reason, it's you know how if you like somebody and you're not really sure how they feel about you, right? So you kind of test the waters a little bit, and you kind of make fun of them, and then they kind of make fun of you, and then, you know, the conversation inevitably goes from platonic into a little bit more, I want to say as well sexual, but then I also feel like it's very platonic, and then it becomes a little bit more personal. And then all of a sudden, you know how they feel about you, they know how to feel you feel about them, and then everything just accelerates really, really fast. That's what I feel is happening here. There is a major acceleration of a situation. And I feel like you might be dealing with someone who has a lot of suitors, and you feel like winner takes all. I have to find out how this is going to play out. Otherwise, somebody might take the person away. That's what I'm feeling. And then I feel another situation where there's a lot of communication, but it never gets past the platonic stage because you're too afraid to escalate the communication. And what I have here is the Eight of Wands. This is the, you know, the arrows of love. If you think back of the Rider-Waite imagery, Eight of Wands, this is like a lot of fast communication, a lot of conversations through, you know, text messages, Skype, emails, whatever it is. It's not so much face to face. This is what I call talking about every single topic under the sun, okay? But then avoiding the topics that we want to talk about, which is, does this person like me? Do you like me? How do you feel about me? And so I feel like you're not able to take it past that friend zone. You're not able to escalate things past that platonic threshold. And there's going to be something happening this month to allow a door of opening. We have here the Wheel of Fortune. In order for you to be able to show somebody how you really feel about them. Making a gesture. There's a little crab here. You guys are very, very shy. You guys are really shy, especially Cancerian men. You guys are incredibly shy. And what's really interesting is everything that you feel underneath, the shyness, the insecurities, the trepidation, the butterflies in your stomach, you never show it. So on the surface, and I honestly can't speak to Cancerian women, but I feel like Cancerian men in particular are extremely shy. But then no one would be able to tell by your face, just by looking at you. They definitely, if they're a little bit more observant, they can tell by your body language. You're going to shift your weight from from one feet to the other. You're going to kind of like step away from a person when you're shy. You might do like the whole, shifting your feet, like moving one feet behind the other when you're shy, and looking at the ground, even looking at your feet. So I feel like many of you are really, really shy. You want to take the next step in a situation. You want to move it along, but you haven't been able to, or things just never got past that friend stage. And there is going to be an opportunity to allow you to do that, to allow you an opportunity to show somebody, or to declare to somebody, or to prove to somebody that you really, really care about them. Okay? In the work environment, what I have here is some really, really good news. Financial abundance. Hard work really paying off. Finishing a project, allowing an opportunity for things to come to fruition. Things are in full bloom right now. There's a lot of opportunities for projects that you can grab up. I also feel opportunities for overtime. I also feel like just a lot of financial stability. So hard work really pays off. And I feel like many of you are going through, taking your work really, really seriously, studying things, taking it very seriously to the point where you're putting in the extra hours in order to get your work done. And all of it is definitely being noticed. So I do see, just really, really good things coming in the work environment. I also feel like you might have crushes. Since you're spending so much time at work, you might be developing feelings or having a crush on somebody, possibly in the work environment as well. I see some people who might be students as well, going to school, doing the coursework, and then having to do group work and falling for somebody like a classmate. Okay? So there is definitely escalation. Things meet the right person. What's coming in for you here? We have the Two of Cups. This is really beautiful. So this card is love, but I also think of it as, like a very strong soul connection that we have with another person. So here's the thing. I see a really strong earth sign, earth type of energy. Okay, we have here the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles. This is someone who's very, very serious. It's almost like very determined. It's like that guy on the chariot. He's just like, who's next? What's next? Who's coming out? And he doesn't waste time. He's very productive. He's very serious-minded, very stubborn. And I also feel, the embodiment of this earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. I see a very strong Taurian type of energy. This is somebody who's very no nonsense. They go through life in such a serious manner that might be why it's hard for you to, have non-platonic conversations with them. Okay, like when you talk to them, everything is very serious. So it's really hard to have a lighthearted conversation, and it's really hard to flirt with them. It's really hard to tease them. It's really hard to really like understand where they're coming from even. And I do feel like if you're dealing with this person, there's definitely mutual reciprocity. This person is so serious that they wouldn't talk to you unless they like you. It's like their time. I see somebody who's like, time is money. I need to get things done. They're super productive. And so they don't really waste time. They don't mince words. They're just very forward. So because they're like this, you also have to think, why are they spending like, several hours texting me back and forth? It's because they like you. Otherwise, they wouldn't waste the time. And so I feel like if you're dealing with somebody like this, they definitely do like you. And all it takes, honestly, is for you to show your intention. I don't see this person showing their intentions or making the first move. I feel like you're the one that has to show them. Okay? And then they'll slow down, and then they'll acknowledge this connection. They already feel it, I feel. They already feel like you have a really strong hold on them, and they already sense that there's something special with the bond between the two of you. It could be the emotional connection. But honestly, water signs are just such great listeners that if somebody is talking to you a lot, they've already felt that emotional connection. So if you like them, you just need to, let them know. And then I'm also seeing somebody, and this could be you, especially if you have been, the person, and only if, especially if you've been the person where you've gone through a lot of relationships and you might not have taken a relationship seriously, or you might not have taken somebody's feelings for you seriously. I see a situation where you are kind of slowing down. Okay, and I feel some people, Cancerian people, kind of there's like a player energy. Forgive me for saying, but like you're going through life living like this, the fool, collecting experiences, collecting partners even. And I don't see like this being a big majority of you guys, but I feel it's almost like, you're wanting to find that perfect fit. You're wanting to find that person who is right for you. And I feel like someone is showing their emotions or their feelings for you. And it's stopping you dead in your tracks. It's stopping you dead in your tracks. And you're slowing down and you're looking at this person and you're just like, wait a minute, I feel the same way too. Something is making you stop and to think and to really explore a relationship. And I see many of you, you're starting to see that this person is serious, and you're starting to see it's like you're looking back and you're looking at all their actions in the past, the cumulative impact of all of their actions, and you're like, oh my God, they really care about me. They're not somebody to tell you, this energy, this earth energy, they do things. If you're sick, they're not going to call you and say like, hey, how are you feeling? Um, they'll probably, drop food off at your door, or, they won't ask how you're feeling. They'll just be like, is there anything I can do for you? Because that's what they do. They do things. They don't sit there and talk about things. And I feel like in the past, you might not have fully acknowledged or might not have fully appreciated the effort that they put in. But I feel like something is happening this month for you to really stop and take this situation seriously. Because I see you kind of like this, the Emperor. He's not the most romantic type of a person, okay? He can seem a little bit cold, but I feel like with this deck, he's looking at the Two of Cups. He's acknowledging a reciprocity in emotions, in feelings. He's feeling a little bit like with this energy, it's like he's feeling the safety in it, and he's finally acknowledging that, you know what, this is something that is very serious. And so I'm not going to treat it lightly. I'm going to put more effort in. I'm going to try to do the right thing by this person. And I'm going to try my best to really reciprocate for this person. So I feel like for some of you, this is your energy. For others, it could be the other person that you're dealing with. But I feel like it's for you Cancerians. If there has been a situation where that you've been running away from because it might be too overwhelming, you're stopped in your tracks and you're looking at somebody, and I feel like they're making some type of a declaration of love or emotions for you. And I feel like, very strong earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So that's what I'm getting here. For those who are single, please get out there, start dating, and, really make your feelings known to another person. I see this shyness about you where topics, everything under the sun is being discussed. But I feel like the important things that you want to ask, you kind of shy away from it. You're waiting, biding your time. You're biding you're just like, I need a sign, I need a sign, I need a signal. And I feel like you're going to get your signal. You're going to get your clear sign. And then even after getting it, you're still too shy to say or to, approach the person. That's what I'm feeling. So aiming to be a little bit more directed and clear with our communication. We have to speak up in order to ask for what we want. And we have to speak up when it comes to expressing ourselves, because there's a really strong connection here. And it's just, it's definitely being felt mutually. It just needs to be brought into the light, and it needs to be talked about, okay? In terms of your advice, we have here the Devil. And we have, this is the Page of Cups, expressing your feelings. So what I am seeing here, I feel like for some of you, you're dealing with another person, like I said, someone who's very serious, okay? They're very career ladder oriented. They're very interested in getting ahead. And I also feel like, no matter how busy they are, they have always made sure they were available for you. They've always been there for you. And I also feel for many of you, this might be like a really strong friendship, like a very dear friend that you've had around you, whose presence is very stable, who has always been there. And I feel like they might secretly like you. But once again, it's really hard to transition from that friendship into a love relationship. But I feel like you've got a secret admirer here, someone who's really, really, really interested in you. And it's not just physical attraction. It very well could be, but I don't feel like it's just physical attraction. It's not like, I feel like the emotions run really deep with this person. And I also see the shyness coming from that person. And I see them as someone who gets a lot of things done in their lives. They have a lot of, they might be as well very well traveled. I see somebody with darker skin and dark hair. Okay, someone who looks very exotic. It's weird because I'm sensing that for not everybody, but for most of you Cancerian people, you might have the lighter features, not everyone, but like either lighter hair, lighter skin, or lighter eyes. And then the other person is in like opposition to that. They might have darker hair, darker skin, darker eyes. So there is this coming together of like an opposite type of energy, and it looks really beautiful. So make your feelings known, and definitely I feel like somebody's making some type of a confession this month in order to move a relationship past that, friend zone. Okay, so that is all I have for you. One announcement that I do want to make, I still have people who are emailing me about, personal readings. I am no longer doing personal readings, and I've mentioned this last month. If you are interested in a reading, I highly recommend this psychic. Her name is Bridget, and she's phenomenal. I've used her services for the past 2 years. I've referred my friends and family members, and they have, nothing but great things to say about her. So if you're interested in booking a reading for yourself or for somebody that you know, I put a link to her scheduling website beneath this video. So if you expand the box and click on the link, you can book a reading for yourself. I highly recommend her, and I think you would be very happy with her services. Okay, so best of luck with everything, and I'll talk to you guys soon.